Hello YouTube and welcome to a second of my terrain reviews. This is the Tabletop Workshop Medieval Chapel kit, which I got from North Star Games during their sale. These are available from loads of people like Warlord, North Star, and they cost about £16 normally, £16.50, something like that. The hard plastic, I found with these kits that generally speaking the casts are very clean. There's not much in terms of flash or mold lines that need scraping off. Maybe sometimes on the roofs I find that you can see there, for instance, there's a little bit of a mold line, but I mean really just a scrape with a hobby knife gets that off. Okay, so what we've got here, as you can see, here's the box again. I've taken the back off. It's just a white plain back. Just a picture again, something looking reminiscent of the War of the Roses. It's a hard plastic model, tells you that, and it's Medieval Chapel. And then the instructions again are on the inside there. But as in the previous review for the cottage, these things have really put themselves together. So what we've got is what appears to be the same floor section. Again, that flagged floor with a sort of edge to it, which I mentioned in the previous video, which is just great because it means you don't necessarily need to put a base. You don't have to mount this on a base if you don't want to. Then we've got, what I'll do is I'll lay it out as we put it up. So we've then got the we've then got the side walls, the long walls. So you can see there's windows, high windows there, a doorway. It's a nice stone finish, so that's going to be interesting and fun to paint. Internals, again, there you can see candles up there, a bench, you know, even the door handle, that sort of thing. So looking good, right? And then on the opposite end of the building is this one, which again is more or less a repeat of the other one minus the door. 2 benches this time, and again the outside. You can see even the where the roof is, it sort of has a nice little decoration. So very nice. And then we got the end pieces. We've got big stained glass window type thing, and an altar there. It looks very Protestant to me, not going to lie, but we'll see what we can do about that. And then the other end, which is here, which is much plainer. It's just got some candles at the top, a tiny window, and then another bench. The benches are quite a nice touch, I think. Very sparse looking chapel, but there you go, it is only a chapel. And then finally the roof, again, it uses the same groove section assembly, so it just sort of pops in one to the other. This one's not such a snug fit. Well, it doesn't feel as snug. I mean, it holds, but I suspect I'll glue those together. And then it's got a tiled roof. So if you just pop that back in again. The other kit, the cottage, was very snug fit, so it stuck together nice and easy without any glue. Although, of course, advice would always be to glue it together just for permanence sake. So that's got a tiled roof. And then just to show you the assembly, again, you just look there, there's little slots and the corresponding grooves. It just goes in there, and then we just push it to the side, and then likewise with this one, we just slot it in there, and you'll see there's a little tongue and groove to, like a little clip section. This can only fit in one way because of the way that the ridges work. So it goes in like this, and then pops in. See, nice and easy, and it holds itself up. And again, you just do the same again on this side. So let me get some light on that, and it just goes in there like so. And then it's just a push fit. He says struggling with one hand. 1 second, sorry. Let me just. There you go. Should take. Here we are. Yeah, that's it. So it's in now. Hold on, it's not. Okay, here you go. So this one's not quite as snug a fit as the cottage. Again, it's not a problem because it'll all be glued together anyway. I don't really think that it's a plausible idea to have these as collapsible. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but it'll wear the paint away and that sort of thing once you've finished with it. So thus far we've got the chapel assembled, and then you just elevate the light a bit so we can get a better look at it. And then, okay, and then the roof simply just drops on top, as we saw with the previous one. So like I said with the previous kit, the cottage, because of the high detail on the internals, you can use these quite well for skirmish games. Now, thinking maybe English Civil War or 30 Years War or something, you can kind of play a skirmish game where you've got, using maybe Donnybrook rules actually, from the League of Augsburg. you can play like a small skirmish game with preachers, witch hunters, that kind of thing. It's very sort of fanciful, but you know that's the way that people behaved in that era. So it could be quite fun to do something like that, or you know anything sort of English Civil War-y would be quite good to do. So there you go, another item to add to my sort of growing hamlet. I'm not sure in terms of architectural style how usable this is in various places, but again, if it's not a concern for you as a wargamer, I don't really, which it isn't for me really, then it shouldn't be an issue. I don't really see myself not using this because it's because it's not quite the right architectural style or whatever. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a great win. So I'll come back in a bit and I'll show you the painted finished version. Right, and we're back, and here is the chapel all completed. It took me maybe an hour of labour using a hairdryer to speed up the drying process, and as you can see, it looks good. Just a bit of grey for the stone. The tiles are sort of brownish colour. Wasn't really sure what colour to do them, so I went for that. It's pleasing to the eye. The door looks okay. Let's get some light on it. There you go. You can see. Not much effort. Maybe just do a bit of metal on the door there. And that's it. Just easy enough. I think that it does what it says on the tin. I just want to show you one little thing that I did do. So the roof obviously pops off. I've just done that like so. What I decided to do was, obviously it's quite deep building, and if you want to maneuver miniatures inside it could be problematic, so I've made it so that if with a bit of, just 1 second, using your Mark 1 issue hands, you can just unplug it, and then you've got a sort of almost a diorama scene if you want to do a shoot in it. Or alternatively, what I've done is cut the sort of tabs off the bottom there so that it slides on. It just clips back into place again. I might actually just cut off these nibs as well, and just make it even more easily removable, because it kind of holds itself in place once I've got the roof and everything on. But yeah, so as you can see there, the internals look good as well. I've done a little bit of soot above where the candles will burn, and hopefully that gives you a sense of the figure itself. But like I say, really easy paint job. Didn't really put much effort in, just getting it done, and it's good to go. That's a village chapel done, and I'm pretty chuffed with it. So yeah, absolutely. I would highly recommend it. I think the only thing I'd say is that the set of buildings are pretty generic, so they are very much built on the same template. However, if that's not a problem for you, and if you don't mind just bulking out your table with some decent looking terrain, then this is it. Price isn't bad, the quality is very good, and I think there's loads of potential for conversion. So in my mind, I can think of putting things like thuribles maybe hanging down there, or you can maybe decorate it with sort of religious tapestries or that kind of thing. You really can go to town. Maybe if you have furniture, you can put it here, something like that. Alright, there we go. So yeah, this would definitely grace the table of a English Civil War period, or 30 Years War, that sort of thing. Definitely, possibly even the earlier medieval period, so like your 100 Years War, that kind of thing. So yeah, excellent. Highly recommended. As you see here, just all clips back together, clip, and then just clip that in, and look at that, and the roof just pops on, and you're good to go. There you go, see? All done. Right, thanks for watching, guys.